Hi, today I'm going to talk to you about what are you going to do if you have an old laptop or computer with Windows XP. As you can see, I have XP, Vista, and Windows 7. Now, both my XP and Windows 7 disks were purchased for my Dell, so they are Dell OEM. The Vista was purchased at Walmart, and there's midnight just being in the way as usual. So if you have a disk, you're good to go. And of course, he's wanting to be rubbed on, right when I'm doing something, but that's midnight for you. Let's see if I can get him in here. He's a ham. Alright, but what if you don't have a disk? Suppose you have a laptop or computer that has XP, but you have to redo it. This laptop here, this Compact Presario, if you go on HP, this computer, this laptop only took Windows Vista. Of course, I do have a hard drive that I have Windows 7, and that's what's in there now. I'm going to attempt to overwrite that with XP. There are very few ways to actually get XP onto a USB flash drive. And unfortunately, with my OEM disk, my Windows 7, yes, of course, it will work on this compact. If I had a DVD ROM installed, it is installed, it's no good, so there's nothing actually inside the DVD case on the side here. It won't even open or close. I mean, there's nothing inside there. I do have to replace that. What I'm going to try to do, I'm going to try to put XP on here, and we'll see if this works. There are very few programs that will allow you to put Windows XP onto a flash drive. Today I'm going to walk you through that. If I haven't already in one of my other videos, I'm not sure if I have or haven't, but I'm going to see if this will boot up from XP. Alright, and this goes to first and second parts. We want the first part. Alright, there we go. Now, putting XP on a flash drive is a royal pain, especially from an ISO file. I believe personally XP was Microsoft's best operating system. Vista, I purchased the Vista Anytime upgrade when it came out. It cost me like $199 for the 64 and 32-bit discs. I purchased them from Walmart, and they're so obsolete it's not funny. So if I'm going to downgrade a computer, I'm going to go with XP, of course. This right now does have Windows 7 on it, so I'm going to delete all partitions on here. Alright. Enter L. And you can see disk D, that is the flash drive, and I'm going to set up XP. Now XP is a royal pain in the rear end, so I'm going to show you what programs you have to find to use XP. Hopefully this video is not extremely long. There's nothing on my flash drive. Alright, now here's the programs you're going to have to find. WinMount, or any virtual mounting hardware or software, software. USB formatter, that's HP USB formatter, and WinSetup 2.0.32. Alright, now first thing you do is plug your USB in, and of course, well, first thing you do is actually download an ISO file. For Windows XP, I downloaded a Windows XP Pro Service Pack 3. Vista VG Black, Blue, Ultimate Style. It has SATA, RAD. The disk image was 698 megabytes. Now I can actually do this with my Windows XP disk if I wanted to, but like I say, since that does not have a DVD-ROM and I really don't want to mess with it on this laptop, my Dell, I just downloaded a XP file. Now I'm going to show you what you need to do. First thing, USB formatter, and this is version 2.0.0 2.0.60. okay, and run that as administrator, and you want to format this into NTFS, and you can just do a quick format. This is an 8 gig flash drive, so you know, the one I'm using right now on this computer is a 4. If you're going to put XP on a flash drive, I'd say a 4 would be more than enough, because it just takes so long on the larger flash drives. When this gets done, since I put on a quick format, hopefully it finishes pretty quickly, but since it's switching to NTFS, you never know. So when this gets done, I'm going to show you what else you need to do to put XP, an SPISO, onto a flash drive. And when this gets done, I'll come back. I'm going to get coffee right now. You can see my coffee cup over there. So yeah, I know it's almost as big as our coffee pot, but when this gets done, I'll be back. Okay, and this is done, and I got my coffee, and then we close this. Now before you do anything, here's where I got this. It's getintopc.com. It's Windows XP tools. I give them all the credit in the world, because putting XP on a flash drive is really hard, okay? And they give you all the tools there that you need to do this. Now, what I do next, I go to WinMount. I have a 64-bit operating system, so I'm going to install this 64-bit. And you're going, well, why are you doing that? Well, I'll show you why. Alright, when this file association comes up, and make sure you're offline when you do this. You don't want to go to any websites or anything. Deselect everything under file association, and then hit OK. Then hit Run WinMount, and you can close this or minimize it. Up here it says Mount File. You hit that, and you go to where your XP disk is. I believe I put in stuff for converting. Yes, I did. Alright. Leave that open. Okay. And you can see right here, it installs it like it would on a CD or DVD. Now, I'm going to minimize this. Then I go back to where I have my downloads. Then I start, remember that's minimized, don't close it. WinSetuoFromUSB. And that'll install, and then the launch button is already checked. Next, and then exit, and I can close that out. Now this, I will browse for my, not XP ISO, okay? WinMount made a new virtual drive, a new virtual CD. That's what you want to click on. You don't need to open that. You don't need to do anything else. Right there, that's a virtual drive. It's drive Z on my computer. And hit OK. And then you want to make sure your USB is picked up. Flash, G, 8 gigs, whatever. You don't have to reformat this or anything else. Just hit removable. Everything else leave blank. and then hit go, and that will start creating it. Now, to use this is a little bit different, because what it does is it splits it down into basically 2 CDs on this XP file I downloaded. On different XP versions, it may or may not do this, so I'm going to show you how to use that when I'm installing this. As soon as it goes, it's already at 13%, and I'll show you how to do that in a little bit. Okay, and you can see it's making the USB drive, and that's exactly how I made this drive. So this is for Windows 2000, XP, and 2003 source. So if you're wanting to use Vista or Windows 7, I would not do it this way. I would only do this for Windows XP. There are other programs such as WinToFlash for things like Vista and 7. So, and even Rufus, the newer versions of Rufus. Now, if you see this, it goes not responding up here, and once in a while it'll say that. Don't worry about that. It'll go through. So, alright. See, there you go, not responding. You'll see it kick off and on once in a while, not responding, but it'll go through, no problem. Like I say, the smaller the drive you have, the flash drive, this is an 8, so it's going to take a while. Alright, when this is done, I'll come back and I'll show you what to do next. Okay, this is done. It says keep the USB plugged in and start the USB 2 times. Text mode and GUI mode parts. I don't know exactly what this means. I do know it will say not ready until you go to my computer and just open it up. You know, browse around in here, back up, you know, close that, and do it a couple times. I'm not sure why it does this. And eventually 2 or 3 times, and then hit exit and it'll say not ready, and you go back. So I mean, it's a pain once you get to the end of this. And because I personally don't see any text files that you can open, so you just have to, you know, open and close it a few times. Then after that you hit exit, and I hate the program compatibility assistant that pops up on Windows 7. Just hit this program installed correctly, because now it's trying to read that. Alright, then you go to your Win mount, maximize it again, and then go to File, Unmount All, and then exit. Okay, and right here you have your bootable XP drive, XP flash drive. Okay, that is how I made this, that I'm installing now on this other laptop. Like I say, let me go here. GetIntoPC.com is where I got these tools from. And these tools are about the only way I've found to actually make a bootable XP ISO into a bootable flash drive. I'm sure there are other ways, older Rufus downloads that's really hard to get your hands on, things like that. So I give them credit. They're the ones that put the package together. So check them out and download this if you need to get it from an ISO file. I've also noticed that if you have XP on a disk, like I do, you can actually get it straight from your drive here if you put your disk in, and then instead of the virtual drive, run it from your drive, it will still make the bootable USB file. Okay. Now you can see here, I'm running Windows 7 right now. This is XP over here, and this is Windows 7. And like I said, I'm on Windows 7. So if I shut this down and restart it, I could boot into either XP or 7. This is formatting. This is going to take a while. You can hear this little fan just kicking. Like I said, I have to clean this computer, re-put thermal paste and a new thermal pad in it. And I'm waiting on the thermal pad. So it's going to take a little while. But once it gets done with the formatting, then I'll come back and I'll show you what to do next. Alright, it just got done formatting the hard drive and it's installing Windows. It did take forever. I mean, it took quite a while. So, but it is installing. Remember, this is XP, Service Pack 3. As you can see, it's going pretty quick. So, now the one thing you have to do is you have to wait for it to load all this stuff. Then you're going to restart right here. Now you want to leave the flash drive in. Let it reboot. Then boot again from USB. Make sure you boot from USB. Now, I understand this little laptop, it does get extremely hot. It does overheat. So, you know, if your laptop doesn't restart, give it a couple minutes to cool down. It is no big deal. Now, let's see if this thing's too hot to actually start. Yep, it looks like it. Give me a couple minutes. I'll come back and show you what to do next. Okay, I just gave it about 30 seconds to a minute to cool down. Then I restarted. Now you want it to boot from USB again. Click this again. First and second parts. Now, second part right here. You want to be on second part and click OK. Click that OK. And that should go through right there, and the rest should finish up. Okay. And I'll come back when this gets all set up. Now remember, this is the black Vista theme or blue Vista theme, whatever it is. This is not just your regular XP. This will have no drivers. The reason I'm installing XP is I wanted you to see that you can actually dual boot from a laptop, an older laptop. Once again, if you're going to install anything other than Linux, split your hard drive, repartition it, split it down before you install Windows, like Windows 7, and you can do it much easier than trying to throw your Windows 7 on here and doing it that way. Make sure your drive is split first. It's so much easier to do with Linux. I will probably throw a Linux on here just so you can see. I'm not trying to make this into a Linux video. What I'm making this video for is to show you that you can go online, you can do things still, even if you have Windows XP, if you have an older computer or laptop. I apologize for the length of the video and the quality. If you did like XP, there are different versions of XP you can get. You can still download. Finding support for it is not so easy. But then again, finding support for this laptop is not so easy. Like I said, just if you have XP and you want to use it online, I mean, you can see it's installing. You can see the different look of this one, and it'll still take a while. So anyway, once it gets installed, I'll come back and I'll restart it up, and you can see what I'm doing with it next. Okay, here we go. Yeah. Well, it seems like XP will install on this machine. What I think I'll do is, I think I'll split this drive down actually on this machine and show you how to do that. I'll have to get a program from my other machine and let's see if it works. Alright, let's finish setting this up. And I'm going to have to put a mouse on here. Not right now. Because I really hate using these little pads. Alright, let's skip this. Don't want to register. And like I say, I'm just setting up XP so I can show you how to actually install another operating system if you need to upgrade yours. Of course, I will have to install some drivers on here, unfortunately. So let me shut this camera off. Let me get the program I need to put on here. I will have to get a different USB flash drive because I already have Windows 7 on a different drive. I have to dig it out. I thought about putting Linux Mint on here, but Linux Mint is extremely easy to do compared to any other version of Windows. So I'm going to show you how to do a Windows setup along with this. Hopefully my program works on this. I believe it will. So let me shut this camera off, get everything ready, and get everything going. Okay, as you can see, this has more of a Vista theme to it, but this is a Windows XP version. It does have Firefox, CC Cleaner, Internet Explorer, of course, you know, that does not work, and a bunch of other junk down here at the bottom. All this other stuff. Alright, let's see if this disk will load. It may not. Let me grab another flash drive, put the program on here I need. See, it's trying to load, but unfortunately there's no drivers on here right now. I would actually have to install some drivers, so I shall be back in just a second. What I'm doing before I do anything else, I'm going to go ahead and install some drivers here. I do have an external DVD burner right here. Now I have Driver Pack Solution 13. I did not want to update the drivers. This will try to install a bunch of junk stuff you do not need, so you actually have to uncheck this. It would be so much easier if I actually had a mouse over here. So we're going to see if this actually finds the drivers to load on here. I'm not sure if it will or won't, considering this is really not supposed to use XP. So we'll see, and then I'll hook up another program. If it does, I'll install the drivers. Alright, missing drivers 14. Install an update. Now, here's what I want to do. All this stuff has to be unhooked. I want to unhook DirectX, Codec Pat, everything up here. All the browser stuff. Make sure you do not install anything from the top if you use this. You don't want shock, you don't want flash, you don't want anything from up here if this is what you're having to do. You don't want AMP, you don't want Java, you want nothing off of here except for the drivers. Alright, now let's see if it'll do this. This will take a few minutes, and then I will install another program on here, and we'll see if we can get Windows 7 alongside of XP for you off this computer using Windows XP. Alright, I'll be back when this is done. If you can't tell, midnight's getting in the way here. He's being a ham. Okay, the drivers seem to be installing. It just takes a little while. This is Driver Pack Solution 13. I do have Driver Pack Solution 17, but that is almost 20 gigs in size, so I'm using 13 for this. I may, after I get done with this, possibly try to do a triple boot setup. I'm not sure yet. If I do, then I will try to install XP, Windows 7, and possibly Linux Mint at the same time. I'm not sure. And Midnight's rubbing on the camera, chewing on the camera. Midnight, go away. Like I say, this is going to take a little while here. I'm going to have to shut this down and pay Midnight some attention, and I'll come back after everything's set up.